everyone, it's Denise with Wondubar Crafts. I'm back today to do a little more sewing on this Oh the Joy little wall hanging for my sister. So we finished the left and right sides on this little wall hanging. We still have to put the top and the bottom strip of blocks together, so that's what we're going to do today. And of course we're going to try and get as far as we can, hopefully within an hour, so we'll see. It is a perfect day for quilting because it is cold and it's going to rain today, although it's not going to drop into the 40s. I think our low is 51, but our high is only going to be like 61 today. It is dark gray skies and gonna rain, so today is a perfect day to sit in here. I have not turned my heat on yet though. I'm waiting. So I've already have these stacked in the way that they need to go. Okay, so we're going to take these over, and of course the top piece over to the sewing machine and go ahead and get this going. And then we can get it sewn to, we'll iron and sew it to the main block here. So let's move on over to the sewing machine. All right, we are back over here at the sewing machine and ready. So these are going a long ways. So I'm going to make sure that my point is upward. They're all going the same direction. I want my fold or my seam there to go downward. And I am going to try and get these to line up as much as possible. All right. Go slow for you guys. Now, you've seen me do these. I'm going to do a chain, but then I have to make sure that do it very slow and steady and consistent, or I should say very slow, so I know where each piece needs to go, because once I get my chain done, then I have to you'll see, add those pieces to the other end, and you want to make sure that they go the right direction. Okay. This will make it go a little faster. But if you're not comfortable doing this, just do it the other way, like we did with the other side pieces there. Not hard at all. I have one extra piece because there are 7 pieces here. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So I know that this is my first, my second, my third, so I want to make sure I keep those in the same line there. Okay, and so I'm going to move these first 2 pieces over, and I'm going to deal with this last piece first. All right, so we need to add this 7th piece, making sure that our fold is downward here. Sorry, it is very tight compacted over here in front of the sewing machine. I think I need to pull it away a little bit. Okay. And you can do this last if you so choose. It's totally up to you. I just want to do it now so I don't forget. And I'm like, oh, I'm a piece short. Okay, so I'm going to set this off because I know that's my last piece. So I'm going to take my first piece here and then my second piece here. And I'm going to do the same thing, match up my ends as much as possible. Best I can, make them even. They were quite even there. And yes, I know some of you who make quilt a lot say, oh, well, pinning. I'm telling you, I will have bloody fingers if I try to pin all my things like that. It just, for some reason, my fingers are extremely attracted to stick pins. Sewing pins. All right, so now we're going to take this last piece and add it to the end here. And sew it to the end. So now we have one big long piece that's going on the bottom. I did turn on my iron to get it nice and warm, so we'll need to iron that here in a second. But now we need to do our top piece. Okay, here, get some of these fuzzies off. And then we have this, it's a 2.5 by like 6.5 long piece that we cut from that starred fabric. And we are going to, first of all, add this to here. Okay, and set that aside. And then we have these 3 pieces here to attach. It should be fairly easy to do. We want to make sure that our pieces are facing, our seams here in the center are facing downward. This seam right here. That way they all go in the same direction. Uh-oh. All right, I think I pushed the cut button. And then this last piece here, making sure that seam is down. And I really want to try and get, as we did on the other ones, to try and get this piece to line up. We want this center piece to try and line up. That goes left to right here, right in the center, this line here. So that when our eye catches the pattern, it will see a nice straight line. And then what I have to do now, add it to the other end of this piece, this nice long 6.5 inch piece. Well, actually it's 6 1/4 now because we've already taken up a quarter inch of it sewing it on here. So we'll square that up. And then do is iron all this out, right? It says to iron and open these seams. I don't like that because it is a very thick seam right here. I don't like it, so I will press them all to one in one direction, right? And then I will, when we sew it, then I will press it towards the center. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll iron these and meet you back over at the cutting table. Okay, so now we have our bottom piece, and it will go down here, and then of course our upper piece, which will go up here, and it's very hard to see, I know, because of the size of the video arena here, but we are now ready to sew these, and then square everything up before we put our I think we have to do our our outer borders, and they want us to measure from here to here to ensure that we get the right length on it, because I can see how, with squaring everything and how it does not always come out to a perfect square, which is a little annoying for me actually, but I'll deal with it. So let's go back over to the sewing machine and sew this edge on there. All right, so we're back at the machine. I grabbed 2 more of these little clips, so now I have 5, so that we can, because it is a longer length, and you know me, I don't like those stick pins. We are going to put it on that way. We use the little clips. Now, you definitely want to remember, so I do believe this is my top, so I'm going to go ahead and do my bottom first. Doesn't matter, you can do the top first, you can do the bottom. Just make sure you square off your ends here before you pin, because you may have some that extends out quite a bit, which I have found did. And so, okay, this has got to go. This is not right, because this has got 2 ends here, so this must go to the bottom. Okay, this is our bottom piece here. All right, so we're going to, and I know it is going to be quite a bit longer. So I think what we need to do is the middle of this, okay, of your actual quilt piece here. I'm going to pull this camera out just a little bit, so if you'll hold on just a minute. Okay, hopefully this will be a little better and easier to see for you guys, because I know that light can get a little annoying, so when we move. All right, so what we're going to try and do, if we can, I don't know if that will work. Actually, I think it's going to be a little bit longer. So I want to find the middle, because this is not going to be an even, I don't know. I'm okay with the pattern. I think I just, I would need to play with it to get it to where I would be happy with it. So I'm going to fold my little blanket piece in half here and just kind of finger press, so that I have the center mark to where that goes. Then I'm going to find the center. So if I have 7 pieces, my 7th one, or my middle one right here, the center of this is where I want to lay that seam up against where I finger pressed right there, and take a clip and clip it down. You're not going anywhere. Okay, And then I'm going to try and lay this out because I'm going to have quite a bit over here on this side that's going to get trimmed off. And I really don't like that. I've had quilts before, and it isn't anything with the instructions, and it doesn't really have anything to do with the quilter. I have found sometimes it has to do with how the fabric reacts when you cut it sometimes, and then when you press it and stuff like that. So and sometimes it can be the quilter and sometimes it can be the instructions. Okay. Yeah, because this is, and it does tell you, I mean, normally I've seen where they've told you to square off your blocks, you know, just to kind of make sure. And then that's it. You know, I've never really been told, oh, square it off here at every step, it seems like. So, okay, so let's go ahead and quarter inch seam. Does not tell us to use a scant quarter inch other than in the blocks. So and sometimes the look is intended to be that way, to make it look like it's, you know, yeah. So I'm going to finish putting these on. There's no need for you guys to watch this completely, so I will pause until I get to the end of this, and then we'll iron this out. All right, you guys, I am almost to the end here, and I thought I would show you. So now we have the top piece, and we'll need to iron this so that our seam goes inward, and the same thing with the bottom so that the seam goes inward. All right, you if you want, you can, it depends on, I prefer it to go inward, and the reason why is this little block right here, because of that extra fabric underneath, will poof up a little bit, and I like it because it gives a little dimension. But sometimes they want you to fold it, going that, so it lays flat. That's not how I want mine to go. So you do it however you're comfortable doing it, all right? So I'm going to go iron this and then meet you back over at the cutting table. Okay, so as you can see, we have got this on here, and we got one side that's coming out a little bit longer, so we need to square this off. All right, on this side over here and on the other. So I'm going to try and square it best I can. I'm not going to take too much off, just enough to kind of make it a little squarer and a little easier for this binding to go on it here. Actually, let me pull this down just a smidgen so that I can see where my line is here. Once again, I must apologize for my little Uber here. She is having quite the sleep. And sometimes I wish that I could sleep as soundly as they do. It's just, whoop, you know. this one. Yeah, because there's and down here needed to come off, so most of it's just little fuzzy pieces, but there was quite a bit off, so I don't like that at all, but that's all right. Still looks great. So what we need to do now is they say to measure from top to bottom in and out, because we have some borders to put on here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I know they want you to cut those pieces. Honestly, I think it's much easier to do, because they're going to tell you to do your top to bottom and cut your outer side borders, and then press the seams outward, and then measure your quilt from the middle to the side, and then do your top and bottom. Honestly, I think I would much rather, because this piece is much longer, you're just going to cut this in half and then attach here and then cut your piece to fit down there. So this is what I'm doing. It's not what the instructions say to do, but for me, if you're going to measure in and out, you might as well just do it this way, personally. So we're going to do this and this side over here. Can you see that? All right, and then we'll square it off, and then we will do the same. I'm going to cut this in half. And we'll have some scrappy pieces, but see, most quilt instructions tell you already how the squares should be and how big to cut. And sometimes they'll give you another 1/4 to 1/2 inch longer so that you only have a smidgen to square off, right? Not like this. This is, no, a lot. This is the first one that I've done from this Red Button quilt company, and it could just be this particular pattern is, you know, I don't know. We'd have to do another one from them to find out. So we're going to sew all 4 of these. So it's simply what I'm going to do is just attach, sew and attach, right? And then I'm going to come back and cut. I'm going to iron them open. Okay, so it's like this. And then I will take and measure it, or take the ruler and square it right there. You know what I mean? And then turn around and do it with the top. So I don't know if I need to film that portion or not, because it's fairly simple, actually. I will come back on, though, and show you how I trim it, because the sewing portion, I think you guys have picked up on that. So we'll come back and trim it. All right, so I've got the top, or actually I've got the sides done. So what I want to do is come over and show you. Now, you can cut it like this. The problem with doing that is if this piece is shorter than any of the other pieces, when you go to flip this over and iron, this piece will be shorter. And so when you go to put this border or on, like the bottom border or even the top, you won't have enough fabric to connect it. So don't cut it until after you have sewn it on and I'm sorry, ironed open or ironed out your seam. You know, when you flipped it over and ironed it, make sure your seam goes to the outside. Okay. We're just going to give it a little the other side, and then we'll go over and I'll sew on the top and bottom and do the same thing, iron them out. I will be glad to get another, once I get my sewing room all set up, I will invest in getting cameras at different stations, cutting station, the sewing station, the ironing station, all that stuff. So this will make it so much easier to see. Because I would really love to show you guys, do a tutorial on making how I make my snippet rolls. So they're not hard, they really aren't. But I think that would be fun. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. These are going to be mega long, but we are going to sew those on top and bottom, and then we'll come back. I'll iron them and come back and trim those as well. All right, so we have done our top and bottom, and now we just need to square this off. Okay. I am just trying to make this as square as possible. It's probably not going to be exactly perfect. But if we can get it, but we're doing good. I will need to do a larger pinwheel style block to show you guys that these small blocks are sometimes very, very hard to, they can be done, but sometimes they're, to get them spot on. I attempted years ago to do one of those little 2-inch square. It was kind of like supposed to be a tree with all the different pieces and it was so off. I was so ashamed. I threw it in the trash. I was like, nope, done. That's something that really, with that kind of precision, takes a whole lot of practice to do. And really, if you're going to attempt to do something like that, you really probably should paper piece it. So, and that's a totally different technique. So, sorry, just trying to get the little fuzzies off. So, now we have got, with everything done on the big square here, right? So, what we want to do is some of the details on it. So it says to use a light box or sunny window and try to mark the "Oh the joy." I don't know if that will come through on this fabric or not, honestly. I mean, I'm going to hold it up to the window and see. Oh yeah, it will. Okay, so I'm going to pin this. That's a great idea, because I was like, I don't have a light box, and I don't want to run out and go buy one. So we are going to try and square this on here as best as possible, so that I'll hold it up and mark it. I am going to use this marker because the Mark Be Gone has to use water to get it off. So, and I'm just gonna hand embroider over it anyway. So I may or may not even have to worry about it. Using the purple though, because my hands will be on it all the time, it will erase. It happens to me anyway. It may not with everyone, but it does with me. So I am going to hold this up and get this on there, and I will be right back. I think I'm going to use some like masking tape or something to hold it up. So Okay, so that was fairly easy. So let me redo this O though. Let me kind of go over a little more. There we go. Pins out of the paper. And there we go. We're going to use that template to embroider. We want to, it tells us to go ahead and pin, layer the quilt top with an 18 by 20 piece of batting and pin it in place. Okay, so let me grab the batting, find it over here, and let's see, we need to cut, it says an 18 by 20, so let's make sure, okay, because the top of this is 19 and across the bottom is 17, so yes, we'll have an inch outside of it all the way around. So let me cut this piece in half. I think, make sure it's going to be long enough. All right, hold on. Okay, so 13. So if we want it to be 18, I'm going to cut that down to 9. But we'll go ahead and cut this to the length of 20. We'll square that off. All right. So let me do this way. I'm going to go to 21 to make sure, because it is not cut straight on that side. I'm going to square all that off here in a second. Wow, it got dark in here. I don't know why it did. It got so very, very dark. Okay, you may not be able to see this, but I'm taking it down. I'm cutting this 21, but some pieces are actually a lot shorter. So, all right. So we'll save that piece for another project. You never know. Put that in my scrap bin. All right. So now we know that side is squared. So we're going to take it down to the 20. And then square off this end. All right. And then if I want to make sure that it is, it's going to be long that way. So okay, this is 20. No, I can't do it that way. I gotta do it this way. So I need to hold it there. And if I needed 18, I'm going to go to the 9 here. Because when I open it up, it'll be 18. It's a little on the thick side, so you can make it a little bigger too. If you want more than an inch to hang out, you can certainly do that. Okay, that's a nice big thick piece. So I'll save that for some other project, you know. Okay. Now, we have our batting. This is going to be so much nicer when I get my room all set up. So, we have a 20 by 18 piece. It's a little about 18 and a half. A little bit longer, and that's okay. Okay, so I think it's going to go this way on here. And you're not going to put your backing on yet. Just your batting. And what I like to do is there's typically the batting has like two pieces that are kind of together. But one piece is going to be, it's going to feel different than the other piece for some reason. They're the same, but for me they feel different. It's the rougher, smoother, flatter edge, and I think that's probably the side that was folded to the plastic in the bag. I always put it to the bottom for some reason. You don't have to. It should be the same all the way. Okay. You just want to make sure that you are flat as possible. I have a little quilting gun, and I will use it when I do the batting, but I will not do it for just this. So, because this is where the embroidery is going to go through. I don't like these stick pins. I'm going to use safety pins. So, hold on just a second. Let me grab my safety pins. They should be right over here. There we go. Okay. These are quilting pins. If you have not seen them, they are intentionally bent. Okay. They're not straight across. They have a slight bend to them here and here. And the reason is so that when if you took a straight pin, it's going to bend when you, anyway. So by having the bend in there already, it does just help. So I'm going to try and poke these so that I'm in the seam, so that I try not to put too many holes in my fabric. Okay. Pin it however you like to secure it. I am just going to pin to the, come on, outer here and probably the inner here. And I will start to one side and I will smooth as I go in. Because if I do it here, there might be a bunch in the middle, and then when I'm smoothing, it's going to bunch. So, you know, make sure that you're smoothing as you kind of go from one side to the other. And I'm trying not to. I want to pin so that the joy is secure. But I also don't want to have it in my way while I'm trying to embroider either. So figure something out here. Oh my goodness. So my chickadees have been really good at laying. It's been 1 week today, and I've gotten 13 eggs so far, but I have not checked yet this afternoon, so we're like, yay. Okay. I think what I want to do here is pin this right here. I really do prefer my little gun. I'll show you guys when we go to put it all together. I love that little thing. I lost it and I had to order one online. They used to sell them in Walmart. And went to Walmart and she's like, I know what you're talking about, but we haven't had those for forever. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to go online and order one and order all the little, I cannot find it. And the crazy thing is, I always keep all my sewing stuff together, you know. So I don't know if when we moved, if my son maybe moved a box somewhere and, or it didn't get, he moved it before it got labeled. So I still have some boxes in the garage that I have not gone through yet and, you know, figured out where they're going. So, yeah, I know. Most people are like already all put together and have all their stuff, and not me. Because it seems like every time I find a place, I find a box to unpack, I need to, okay, this isn't going to work here. It's got to do this. So, okay, so we have that, and now what we need to do, where are we at for time? 41 minutes. Okay. Use 3 strands of dark red floss. So let me get all that out and prepped. Let me find my embroidery needle and all that good stuff. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to use our dark thread, the 902 thread, and this does require a stem stitch. For any of you who are familiar, you know that you can do it that way, or you can use what they call the sewing method to do that. Normally I cut my thread about, you know, an arm's length. This calls for 3 strands. So this DMC comes in 6. So we're just going to pull it apart, maybe in half. Doesn't want to do that though, does it? Okay. Where's my needle? There we go. Oop. We got 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3. And just pull it apart. All right, we're going to set that piece to the side. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to do this stitch. Probably because we only have time maybe to do one on there. And then I will finish it off camera. But it's not hard, because each one of these, really I don't want to pull the thread between, because you'll see it in between. It's a very light colored fabric. So, ooh, I got it threaded, my goodness. All right, so let's see if I can do this. It's been a while. All right, so I'm going to start on top. Let's see if I remember how to do this here. All right. And I'm going to leave myself a tail that hopefully some of the other thread will pick up. Now, this is how you would typically do it. You would do a stitch length and making sure that your thread is below the area. You're going to do a stitch length in, pull it through, part the way, and then come up where your thread was before. Oh, I need to put my glasses on. My goodness. All right. Pull this down a little bit. trying to get this in that hole. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to find my glasses. All right, and then, did I do that right? I don't know if I did that right. Hold on. I think I need to go the other direction with it, so. We're starting off one step, because I'm used to doing it in the sewing method, so I'm trying to remember here. I need to, yeah, we're going the wrong direction, that's why. Okay, so down, and then this is how you do it in the sewing method. So put your needle in, and then it comes back up through. Right, and then I did that wrong again. I'm trying to remember how we, hold on, okay, so then, is it, oh yeah, okay, that's what it is. And then I'm going the wrong direction. I really should be going the other, but we can do it this way to get it started, maybe. All right, guys, I gotta grab my glasses because this is crazy. And I think I need to turn a little light on so that I can see. There we go, yay. All right, and then a stitch length away. A stitch length can be how you perceive it, you know, but typically it's about 1/4 inch or less. So then we're gonna come back up and through. All right, and then we're just going to continue to do that stitch around. I was like, gosh darn it, I knew I didn't forget how to do this. Right. I like doing it this way because it makes it much quicker. Okay. Our thread always at the bottom of the project. Okay. So that the thread comes from the top always, so that it's uniform. And I know there's probably a lot of individuals out there who do hand embroidery all the time. I don't do so much anymore, so I hope my sister appreciates this because that's what I bought this beautiful, nice machine to do for me. Because I have really bad arthritis, so sometimes that's why I said I will do one letter here on camera, and then the remainder of it I will do off camera, and then we will pick up in the next video, the next segment, which is making the snowman. That's going to be fun. And then getting him attached too, because that's going to take some patience, to say the least. I read the instructions on it, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay. It'll be fun. It's not, I don't think it's going to be hard. It's just a little more time consuming than I thought it would be. Because I thought it was going to do it all in one piece. Ooh, my thumb's already hurt me. But it is not. We've got to do it in 3 pieces, so that's all right. We can do this. I sure hope I don't run out of thread, because that's the only color I have, and my Walmart does not sell very much of that DMC, which means that's a 45-minute drive to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whoever, you know, will have it in stock. But do you see how you got this small piece here? Let me pull this down over here this way so that hopefully my threading will, my sewing will pick up this piece on the back side and tack it down. Hopefully. One of these pieces will get it. Don't tug too tight because it will pucker. Ooh, that's hurting my thumb. Yeah, this is going to be an all-night project, I think, for me, because I'm going to have to take a break after this and let my thumb. I mean, I know it's only just the O, but trying to do that small thing is cramping. It's already cramping my hand. Okay, so when we come down, we don't need to go all the way here. We can make a smaller stitch here so that we're not doing a very long one. So we're going to back right through that hole. Maybe. Okay. All right, so not too many of those threads I picked up on the other, but that's okay. We can tie it off on the back. You can, if you want, go over to the O, but I might, because it's a very short jump from here to here. So it's from there to there, and I'm going to need to tie these off. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll tie those off. This is not the conventional way, trust me. Everybody's probably cringing, but it didn't pick up on the other one. So what I'm going to do is, come on, maybe pull this out, and I will knot this. I think I'm just going to knot this off and start at the T, because the start off didn't tuck. Normally it will tuck, but with my poor fingers, yeah, I have to do this kind of a sloppier method. I wouldn't normally do that. You normally pick the stitch up for the tie off. So where's my other piece? There, it's around here somewhere. Anyways, guys, so I may go ahead and, now that I've tied that off, do the O to the joy. When I am finished, I will just film it real quick and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so until next time, guys, thanks for hanging out. I know it was a little frustrating today, and I apologize for that. But until then, plenty of hugs, loves, and blessings. Bye, guys. Okay, guys, I am back. Just to kind of show you, I finished up the Ode the Joy. I still need to take, I'm just going to take a little wet paper towel and just kind of dop over here. You know, it's not wet, just damp, to get that blue trace off of there. But other than that, is embroidered on there. So, and then I think our next steps are going to be to make the snowman and attach him here. So until next time, plenty of hugs, loves, and blessings, guys. Bye.